Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for June 24th, 2019. What's going on? How are ya? What's up? How's everybody doing? Are you having a nice week? Well, that's good. That's good. I'm in a fucking melancholy mood. I really am. Some bullshit going on. You know, as you get older, things happen to people that you love, and it fucking sucks. So, with that, we're going to plow through. We're going to bring the comedy through the pain. Getting on this jokester train, it's Billy. And he's got on his clown makeup. Jesus Christ, I didn't realize the fucking shit I was going to stir up telling that funny story about that club that didn't put me on. And then everybody started going like, you know, that club, I got to tell you, they do some things that are not exactly things that you might want to be doing to people. So now I'm kind of glad I didn't go up there. But anyway, I've been working. I've been working my new fucking 25, 30 minutes that I got since I did the special. Not saying it's good, not saying it deserves to be listened to by human ears, but they have to because that's just how the game is played. So I went up. The hell was I? I was at the. I was at. I'm not even going to say the comedy clubs now because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But I was on stage. And, the usual shit that happens now when you do a fucking comedy show is everybody's having a great time, and then a younger white woman all of a sudden has to fucking be offended by something, right? So I was joking about that, and, then lo and behold, I'm doing my set, and all of a sudden this woman starts bitching about something. I go, the classic, there she is. The young white woman doesn't like the joke. The whole show has to stop. And she goes, I'm not white. And the lights were in my eyes. I was like, well, you look white. I can't even see. I go, what are you? And she's like, I'm Asian. And she said it with a real attitude. I go, well, Jesus, fucking relax. Stop acting like you're special. There's like 6 billion of you. Sitting here talking about yourself like you're a fucking albino alligator. Someone wants to make a bag out of. To her credit, she laughed her ass off. Now, I know that was taken out of context when on a comedy club. You're listening to this at home or maybe at work, and maybe that offended you. And you need to hashtag something. That was fucking funny. She was cool, though. Thank God. She ended up being cool. But I tried out all my new shit. And I actually was down in the village afterwards, and I've been working this abortion angle, and I got pro-choice people. I got them to give me an applause break on something that was not pro-choice on the fucking issue, which made me feel great. And just had it was like the perfect night, and then Verzi and Bobby Kelly were there, and we went, oh my God, I got to tell this fucking story. So Verzi gets a box of fucking Cuban cigars, as did I. A buddy of ours got us, oh shit, he doesn't even know this yet. He's going to know now. He got us this box of Cuban cigars, and he sent us pictures going, what do you want? You want all Cubans, or do you want this mix of Cuban cigars, right? So I'm like, well, I'll take the mix, I'll take the whole smorgasbord there, right? So, Verzi didn't know the same guy. He's a buddy of ours. He hit us both up and sent us, and we, he didn't have us on the same text chain, so neither one of us knew. He goes, dude, I got the variety box. I go, did you get it from so and so? He goes, yeah, and he goes, great. So I'll meet you down the cellar, right? And he goes, I got Cubans, and we're all excited, right? I go down. I do a couple, 2, 3 sets. I have a great sets. Verzi fucking murdered. By the way, Verzi's going to be at Laugh Boston this weekend. Please go out and see this guy, man. Okay, fucking, this guy's the real deal, and he has turned a fucking corner, and he is not the same comic when he headlines that he is when he's opening for me. There's a whole other level that he goes to just because he has the time to really work ideas, and I'm so thrilled for him. And watching, there's nothing I enjoy better than seeing a comic, all of a sudden they got that growth, they turn the corner and all that, inspires you to fucking try and push yourself and yada, yada, yada and all that, right? So anyway, so we're going to... Oh, that also reminds me, when we were sitting in the park, Bobby Kelly was going, Jesus Christ, I had to go in after Jessica Curson. And I was like, oh, man, that's a rough one. He goes, yeah. He goes, she goes, dude, she's like 3 comics in one. She can do voices. And I jumped on right there. I go, she can be big. She can just be standing there. She's got like every tool in the fucking toolbox. And by the way, oh, what a coincidence, All Things Comedy produced her upcoming special along with Ian Edwards, another beast. So it was just a great night. So we're upstairs at the cellar, about ready to go over there. And Bobby's into cigars too. And what you have to understand about Bobby Kelly is when Bobby gets into shit... Remember when Tom Cruise was talking about Scientology and he was just like, I fucking get into shit, you know? Which is the reference we used on F is for Family when Vic Reynolds go, I get into shit. That was a nod to him. Flying helicopters, whatever Tom Cruise does, you know, is a stunt to be done. Next thing you know, they're duct taping him to the side of a fucking 747. I mean, lunatic, but in a good way, because you get to enjoy what the fuck they do, right? And what was I going to say? So Bobby's the same way, right? He gets into shit. He fucking gets into shit. So he got into cigars. All right, I'm into cigars, but like I'm not like one of these fucking people like, you know, I'm not like a connoisseur, you know. I know about some cigars, but like any one of you out there could educate me on this is a Connecticut leaf and all of that. I like those guys, and they light them, and they're like going, "Oh, I'm taking hints of chili pepper with some chocolate aftertaste." It fucking drives me up the wall. Because first of all, they know what the fuck they're going to say before they lit it. They already took it, and it's like they're lighting it, and they're already feeling hints of this and hints of that. Like they're this fucking 5-star chef. The fuck out of here! All right. The only cigar I've ever lit, where as I was lighting it, I was like, "Oh my god!" was any Cuban cigar I've ever smoked that was actually real. So anyway, we're at the cellar, and Virgie's like, I got Cubans. And Bobby's like, you got Cubans? Yeah. Or maybe I was excited. So Bobby's just sitting there, right? Like the fucking Dawn of Cigars. He's sitting there. You know, like when that guy in Goodfellas comes in and he has a problem with his restaurant. He's just saying, oh, what do you want me to do? What do I know about the restaurant is, right? So Bobby just goes, let me see him. So Verzi gives him the box. He glances at the cigars, and immediately he puts on his glasses, and he's looking on the side of the box. He's not looking at the cigars. And I immediately knew what he was going to do. I was like, oh, no. So, this is my favorite thing. He put on his glasses that I swear to God looked like the windshield on a fucking motor scooter. Each lens. Giant fucking glasses. And that was not, in a lit room, was not enough. He then took the flashlight on his phone and puts it on the serial number. And as he was doing, in my head, I'm like, don't do this, Bobby. Please don't ruin the night before it begins. And he looks at him, he just puts the box down, shuts off the light, takes off his glasses, and looks at Verzi. He just goes, these are fake. And Verzi's going like, no, they're not. No, they're not. He goes, no, they're fake. He goes, every Cuban cigar, they come with the serial number. Bobby knew what the serial number was, and he's like, these are fake. Okay? So I'm fucking dying laughing. Verzi's like, he's like Santa Claus. You know what I mean? This is what you need to know about how big Paul Verzi's heart is. He, every year, no matter what the Knicks do, he still has hope the next season. He is. Verzi is Christmas the whole fucking year around, right? So Verzi's shoulders literally like slump. And I go, no, that's probably good. Whatever, we go to get the same. We're walking out. And I just look at Bob. I go, Bob, why would you do that? He's like, what, dude? They do fake. I go, but Bob, I go, that's not how you do it. And he starts laughing. I go, this is what you should have done. You should have realized they were fake. And then what you do is just sit there, smoke them, tell them that they're good. And then in a couple weeks, show up, you know, to go smoke with the guy. Say, by the way, you know those Cuban cigars you had a few weeks ago? And he goes, yeah. Go, by the way, those weren't real. They were fake. And then you pull out and go, but here's a real one. Okay? And then you could educate him on the serial number and all that. So Bobby goes, all right, fair enough, right? And then Verzi goes, yeah, dude, I don't think these are fake. He starts it back up again. Forever the hopeful Knick fan, he starts it back up again. And at that point, I go, all right, Paul, now I got to turn my back on you. Paul Sorvino, I got to turn my back on you. I tried to fucking stick up for the moment, and it's over. So then we ended up going to that park right across the street from Joe's Pizza, the one you see at the end of Ray Romano's amazing special, if you haven't watched it yet. So at that point, we were all just laughing, and I was like, Bob, which one do you want? Do you want the Fohiba or the Fartigus? You know, basically using the Cuban names, but saying F for fake. And we were all just laughing. But they actually smoked good, and they didn't taste that bad. And then a buddy of ours ended up showing up. We had like the fucking best night, sitting there smoking the cigar, looking at the ridiculously long line over at Joe's, waiting for it to get small enough that we were going to go over there and get a slice of pizza. Now, I wasn't going to get a slice because I've been eating too many, and I got to keep my girlish figure here for the motion picture. All right? I didn't want my fucking second trimester alabaster belly taken away from the true star of the show, which is my mustache. So we just sat there the whole night, and then we just started talking about how much money do you think Joe's is making, and fucking, you know, how my dad always wanted to open a pizza parlor, Verzi wanted to open a pizza parlor, and all that shit. We just sat there shooting the shit, and I can't even, like, it was like one of those things, a classic Great Cigar, where it was just like, Great Cigar Hang, I should say, before Bobby calls in. Dude, it wasn't great, they were fake, dude. Dude, that conversation in the park had a serial number on it that wasn't real. That wasn't real conversation. We talked comedy. That's where we were talking about his sets, and Bobby was talking about having to follow Jessica. And I don't know, just had like the greatest fucking night. And I don't know. It's why, you know, as much as a good time as I had drinking booze for all those years, I can kind of walk away from that because, you know, there's an inebriation obviously involved with boozing, even if you just have a couple, and a lot of great conversation is lost. But with cigar, but even then, I gotta go easy on the cigars. This whole talk is making me want to smoke one right now. But I will tell you, last night I went out and I did Big J's Skankfest. I never, you know, so what's funny is I never really put that I know what that word means, but I never, because they put fest at the end of it. Like, you can call something fuck fest, and when I showed up and there was an orgy there, I would still be surprised. Like, once fest is at the end of it, that the prefix is no longer a single word anymore. It's just the beginning of it, and it doesn't even dawn on me. And I'm not saying that there was a bunch of skanks there, but it was just like, it reminded me, the energy was like when you used to do those Opie and Anthony live events, where it was crazy, maniacal fans with ridiculously awesome loyalty, and it was slightly scary. So we went up there and we did the goddamn comedy jam, and I got to tell you, by the time I went up there, Josh Adam Myers, it looked like somebody had thrown him in an above-ground pool with his clothes on. He was absolutely drenched in sweat. I've never seen all these people, hardest working man in show business. I never saw anybody sweating like that. He was absolutely soaked. His shorts, his shirt, his hair, the whole fucking thing. He looked like a fucking, like I said, he looked like someone just threw him in a fucking pool. And we went up there, and I haven't had a lot of time to play on a kit because, did I mention I'm doing a movie 50 times in this fucking thing? All right, Bill, we get it. For once you're working as an actor. But I did. I went out and I bought a practice pad, and I've been working on my hands there. Trying to remember some shit that Dave Elitch taught me. And just doing that, I think I played the best I've played. I mean, I'm not saying it was good. But I wasn't nervous or anything, so of course you play do better if you weren't nervous. But I got to play Kickstart My Heart with the teen idol sensation from the Opie and Anthony program, Joe DeRosa. Came back out and sang Kickstart My Heart. And it didn't dawn on me till afterwards when I left. I was like, wait a minute. I finally got to jam with fucking Joe DeRosa. And, dude, the crowd was fucking insane. They were fucking insane. I don't know if you've seen some of the clips from it, but like Bobby Kelly crowd surfed at a podcast. Bobby, these Cubans aren't real. Kelly. Anyway, and then we played Pantera, I'm Broken, a.k.a. Downtown Comedy Club. Downtown Comedy Club. Which we don't even call it I'm Broken anymore. Now Josh goes, you want to do Downtown? Yeah, we'll do Downtown. And then Joey Roses is going to sing Kickstart My Heart. And it was fucking awesome. I could barely hear the guitar and the bass, but I was just sort of humming the song along. So, there was a couple of minor train wrecks in there that were my fault. But I think overall, when I was on, I actually played it pretty good. So I was very excited about that. So then I go to run out of there because there was no place to hang out. I mean, it was a fucking free-for-all in the greatest sense. I think everybody there, you just walked in and had a backstage pass. I went to the green room. There was like 400 fucking people in there, it felt like. But honestly, it was probably like, I don't know, upwards of 30 people in a room that comfortably would have held 7. So that was the only part, trying to figure out a place where I could stand and kind of think about, the song so I didn't blow it. And, I got to see some of Red Band's stand-up show downstairs. Who the fuck did I see? Josh went up and did a set. Tony, the show pony, I got to see him. He had a great bit about transgendered athletes. And, I think that was it. So anyway, afterwards, and this fucking venue, by the way, Jesus Christ. I mean, you could have shot a horror movie in this place. It was out of the 70s, and literally nothing had been changed. I mean, we were in the sober green room. We finally found one downstairs, and what was hilarious, we walked in, there was one person there. So we went in there, and they had these rounded, like leather, sort of cheap-ass looking minimalist chairs. And I'm like, these literally look like they're from the set of, like, Mary Tyler Moore's Apartment. But anyway, we ended up having a great time. So I do the show, right? Play Kickstart in Downtown Comedy Club, right? And I had a great fucking time. I get off stage and I'm going to Uber, right? And I go outside and there's this lime green taxi sitting there as if I had already called it. I'm like, what a fucking perfect night. I get to do Big J's fucking festival. I fucking jam with Joe DeRosa. I don't fuck up the songs too bad. Everything goes great, and here's a cab waiting for me. I said, are you on? And he's like, yes, right? And I go to get in, and he goes, where you going? And I was like, I'm going to 81st and 3rd. He's like, 81st and 3rd? I go, yeah, in Manhattan. He's like, Manhattan? Yeah, Manhattan. 8, 1, and 3? I go, yes. Manhattan? I'm like, yeah, New York City, Empire State Building, if I can make it there, right? And then I'm thinking like, oh my God, we're in Brooklyn. He doesn't want to go all the way out there. He's a lime green cab. He's going to have to drive back empty. So I fucking say to the guy, do you not want to go? And he goes, no. How do you want to go? Midtown Tunnel? You want to take the Williamsburg Bridge? And I'm like, whatever you think is faster. You want to go Midtown, Williamsburg Bridge? I go, whichever. 81 and 3. And I just go, dude, go fuck yourself. And I got out of this fucking cab. I knew what he was doing. But I had to commend it. The fact that in a second language, he still knew how to play dumb so he could get what the fuck he wanted. It was such passive-aggressive horseshit. But I have to commend him that it did work. And then he had the audacity, as I'm standing there across the street waiting for my Uber, He was outside of his car, leaning on his car, just looking at me. Like the guy that Clint Eastwood kills in a Western. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You can just tell, like, this guy's just going to be a dick. I mean, maybe he was mad at me, but I didn't overreact because I went to get out of his cab and I was waiting. No, wait. And he didn't do it. He just let me get out. Fucking cocksucker. By the way, my temper is back in full force because I have not fucking gone to therapy and been able to talk about my... And the big thing about it's been helping me about the therapy is I'm always thinking in my head, like, well, if I talk about this, then I have to go in and talk to her and say that I failed this week. Now I don't have that. I don't have the parameters, so I gotta get it back under control. I mean, it does make for great stories here on the podcast, I imagine. This fucking guy said like 9 times, 81 and 3. It's just like, dude, your entire country is better at math than some of our best students over here, okay? We got a couple of Asian free agents, but generally white people, you crush us in math. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, anyway, I got a couple of days off here, and I got to go to a barber and get this fucking mustache trimmed because it is, like, going to be hanging down below my bottom lip here, and I'm, like... I can't do it. Everything gets in it. I don't know how the level of commitment to having one of these fucking hipster fucking Sam Elliott mustaches is it's starting to wear on me. All right, old Billy Dallas Buyers Club here has had it. So I got I think I wrap the second week in August, and I'm going to clear it with the director and be like, all right, dude, I'm going to go home and shave this off. Are we cool? Because it's going to take me 6 to 7 weeks to grow this fucker again. Yeah. I'm going to go back to being Billy Redface. I miss that guy. Did anybody watch the F1 race? I actually caught it and I watched it in Spanish. And even in Spanish, I knew the fucking race was over the second Lewis Hamilton, right as they say, it's a race to the first turn. And I'll tell you, I couldn't believe that Lewis Hamilton had won the pole and Valtteri Bottas was in second place. It's unbelievable. I mean, I thought the other 90 weeks in a row that they've seemed to have done that was just a fluke. Dude, a level of driver of Lewis Hamilton in the level of car that he's in, and he's in the pole position, and he gets to the first turn, I can tell you this, like, there's no point in watching the rest of the fucking race. How they even like televise the race? They're not even showing Lewis Hamilton. They're not even showing the guy in first place. They spend the whole race showing like fucking third, fourth, and fifth. Those people jockeying for position. That's where the racing is. But it's still an incredible sport. But I got to tell you, like they need to. There's going to have to be something. They have to do something. Right? There's got to be something's got to give here where, like, in hockey they got rid of the red line so you could have the stretch pass to somehow beat that fucking trap defense. Which now is going to be, can you beat a trap defense while they're running your goaltender and fucking cross-checking you in the teeth like those piece of shit St. Louis Blues? It's gradually going to come out because I wanted to be classy when they won. Filthy fucking team. But, Bruins have had filthy teams. That's how I'm making my peace with it. But it just kills me. We should have run their fucking mediocre goddamn goaltender, which, by the way, now that you've had your parade, because I don't want to rain on your parade, now that it's gone, dude, that fucking horse shit where they would say, those guys won more games than any other fucking rookie. That fucking guy... If we scored the first fucking goal, the guy let up 10 goals in 2 games and was pulled out of 1 game. Everybody fucking relax. All right? You got a Matt Castle situation. He gets traded to the hockey equivalent of the Chiefs 10 years ago, and that guy's a fucking sieve. But having said that, congratulations on your cup. The fuck was his goals against? 10 goals in 2 fucking games. Jesus fucking Christ. And they're just sitting there ball washing the guy. He's the reason why they're winning. Oh, is he? I thought it was the fucking goons he had in front of him fucking taking runs at people and boarding everybody. I thought it was that. Call me crazy. Anyways, where am I? Let's read some advertising here. All right. Oh, in good news, in better news here, I was actually home. I was visiting, as I've sort of alluded to, one of my friends is gravely ill, and, that's never fun. But I did go back, and I met up with a bunch of my high school buddies who I've still been in touch with 30-some-odd years, and we hung out, and we were all talking about the hangover of when the NHL and the NBA playoffs end, because there's such high. And they go, oh, God, let's watch a baseball game. It's boring. I go, nah, put it on. Settle in. It's fucking great. It's a great fucking game, right? And we happened to watch that Red Sox game where we were down 4-0 against the Blue Jays, and we came back and won 7-5 in 10 innings. Ended up being a great game. And we were talking about the old days and all of that shit. And I read the next day in the Boston Sports page, which I never get to read anymore. I think I have a subscription to both the Globe and the Herald. I just don't. I can't remember my passwords. They were talking about our coach. Was it Cora? I'm so not a baseball guy right now. Our manager's decision. I guess we brought a pitcher in and we walked somebody to get to a guy who was 4 for 4 for the night, and everyone was scratching their heads. But the pitcher we had was. The guy had gone 0 for 3 lifetime against him. So everybody thought that he walked him because the 4 for 4 guy had never got a hit on our pitcher. And our manager was like, that's not why I did it. I did it because he was 4 for 4. And it's almost, it's really difficult to go 5 for 5. So he was betting on the fact that, all right, this guy got 4 hits, but there's no way he's getting 5. I never heard anybody do the math like that in baseball, and somehow it worked out. So I know we're not playing the greatest baseball, and the Yankees are absolutely on fire, and now they weren't even playing with their best guys. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on that, because as I keep mentioning, the Yankees win it this year, who they got as good a chance as anybody. Like I said, they will they will have won at least one World Series in 9 of the last 10 decades. No, yeah, unbelievable. That's unfucking believable to be that successful for that long. And even as a Red Sox fan, I have to give it up to you. And congratulations to the Blues. There's just a few things, because I was just biting my tongue watching that fucking shit. Because I didn't want to be the fucking sore loser. But here I am 2 weeks later, still fucking steaming over it. Did you see what the Bruins drafted to? Drafted a fucking 6'3", 200-something pound fucking center. I told you. That's what we needed. We didn't have that power forward to stand there in the slot. That's what we needed. So we were passing wing to fucking wing. And that amazing Patrick Waugh Jr. He went from one post to the other. All right, Honey. Today's show is brought to you by Honey, the easiest way to save money when you're shopping online. Honestly, before I found out about Honey, seeing the promo code BOX at checkout stressed me out. Yeah, anything on computers stresses me out. Honey will find you every coupon code, sale, or discount on over 20,000 sites like Amazon, J.Crew, eBay, Macy's, Sephora, Nordstrom, and more. Do you realize this is literally built for guys like me who are afraid of computers and can't figure out where? I mean, I can't even use the fucking stove, the oven. I figured out the stove, but the oven, I couldn't figure out how to raise the temperature. So then I had to do the math to be, all right, 25 minutes at 400. I can only get it to be the standard 350 here. What is that, like 32 minutes? Remember, it's on, off, and it had the fucking numbers? It wasn't any easier than that. Why does it have to have a digital fucking code? You know why that is? It's because they just want to keep getting you to keep buying the next fucking thing. Remind me to talk about cardio machines after this read here. Honey will find you every coupon Sale or discount on over 20,000 sites like Amazon, J.Crew, eBay, Macy's, Sephora, Nordstrom, and more. We've got your back. So, you might ask, how do I know Honey has my back? Does it really work? Well, not only did Honey test over 1 billion promo codes last year, but it actually applied 185,067,086 working codes to people's orders. That's a lot of real-life savings. Yes, it is. Not to mention over 10 million people are already saving with Honey, and it has over 100,000 5-star reviews. The Google Chrome Store. On the Google Chrome Store. Thanks to Honey, now there's literally no stress when I see that promo code at checkout. Please interject personal experience of how Honey has saved you. I haven't used it yet. I want to use it. I got to get it. Where do I get it? Look, there's no reason not to use Honey. It's free. It's fucking free. Which means the advertisers are giving them money. These people that you're going to buy from, they take the fucking hit. Right? Is that how it works? To just bring all of us there. It's free to use and easy to install on your computer in just 2 clicks. Never overthink the promo code again. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/Burr. That's joinhoney.com/Burr. Honey, online savings simplified. What do we got here? Oh, look who's here. It's Hims. Hims. You've heard us talking about Hims and how they are helping guys look their best. If you haven't yet, it's time to see what they're all about. 66% of men start losing their hair by age 35. Hey! Once you've noticed thinning hair, it can be too late. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Any bald spots yet? The best way to prevent more hair loss is to do something about it while you still have some. It's time to get a handle on those precious locks. Do you want a bald spot to pop up on your hairline to... Wait. Do you want a bald spot to pop up or your hairline to recede? Or do you want to do something about it first? From my personal experience, it's better to have a receding hairline than to be losing it in the back. You lose it in the back, you're going to meet in the middle of your head. That's the way it's going to go. For Hims.com, if you lose it in the front, you can kind of just keep combing it forward for a while and look like you're in a fucking cover band for the Beatles. But do you really want to do that? Why don't you just go to forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, sexual wellness for men. No more awkward in-person doctor visits or long pharmacy lines. For Hims connects you to real doctors online, which could save you hours. Completely confidential and discreet answers, a few quick questions a doctor will review, and if they determine it's right for you, you can prescribe you medication to treat hair loss that is shipped directly to your door. Get the hair loss treatment everyone is talking about, featured in GQ, Men's Health, Esquire, and Playboy, to name a few. My listeners can get started with the Hims Complete Hair Kit for just $5 right now while supplies last and subject to doctor's approval. I don't know what that means. See website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy or somewhere else. Go to forhims.com/Burr. That's FORHIMS.com/Burr. That's forhims.com/Burr. You know what I'm actually fascinated with? Rock bands, all male rock bands where nobody loses their hair. You know what I mean? That can't be real. Somebody must have done it for Hims. You know, you look at Aerosmith. They all got their hair. You look at the Rolling Stones. They all got their hair. Keith was starting to lose it. You know, he started wearing the bandanas. And then we got Johnny Depp doing the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. Because of that, this guy's dressing like a pirate. I think he was doing the LeBron James. He was wearing the fucking headband. And then, I don't know, I just saw him recently, and he got it back. He looked like he had a fucking decaying bird's nest on his head for a long time. And being the fact that he was a smoker, I was really concerned for him. You know? When he was fucking lighting it up, you know, if it, all of a sudden one of the ambers there. You know? Like how, like those L.A. fires, the ambers will float over other houses and just fucking unfortunately land on somebody else's house. And someone's sitting there across the street looking at 3 houses that burnt down, and their whole fucking side of the block is fine. It's like a tornado. We got it, Bill. All right, ButcherBox. This month, ButcherBox is offering free bacon for life. Sign up now, and you'll get 1 package of the best-tasting bacon free in every box for you. Can you imagine being the Rolling Stones and you don't lose your hair? and you got great fucking hair, it's just like, you know, you got to be thinking, what did I do in a past life? This month's Butcher's Box is offering free bacon for life. Sign up now, and you get one package of the best tasting baking free in every box for life, for the life of your subscription. Butcher Box bacon is whole, 30 approved, uncured, nitrate, and sugar-free. Right now, new members will get a package of bacon for free in every box for the life of your subscription. Plus, you get $20 off your first box. Oh, all of this stuff is my favorite. Out of everybody who's advertised. Every month, ButcherBox delivers 100% grass-fed and grass-finished beef, free-range organic chicken, and my favorite, heritage breed pork, the best pork chop I've ever made, and wild Alaskan salmon directly to your door. The incredible quality of ButcherBox meat starts with the commitment to humanely raise animals that are never fed antibiotics or hormones before they get whacked like Joe Pesci and fucking Goodfellas. Did we mention it's delivered right to your door? Choose from 4 curated boxes, including a mix of high-quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef, free-range organic chicken, and heritage breed pork, or customize your own box so that you can get exactly what you and your family love. ButcherBox also has wild-caught Alaskan sockeye salmon. What did you call me? I just said Alaskan salmon. I thought you called me a sockeye salmon. And ButcherBox bacon that is sourced from heritage breed pigs and is uncured, nitrate-free, and sugar-free. By the way, if you didn't know what heritage breed pork pigs are, they can trace their bloodline back to Europe. These are purebred pigs, the best of the best when it comes to pork. All right, they ain't the bastardized version over here like me, where I'm German, Irish, Scottish, Dutch, French, right? I think I got a little English in there. I don't know what the fuck it is. No, these are 100% European fucking pigs. I don't know what they do to the European pigs over there. I don't know if it's the fucking DJ music, the house music they listen to. I don't know what the fuck it is. The EDM, but they just taste better than the ones over here that are listening to our shit, My favorite cut is obviously the pork chop, without a doubt, heritage bred pork. There's no easier way to get high-quality meat you can trust. There's no commitment, and you can cancel at any time. To receive $20 off your first box and a package of free bacon in every box for the life of your subscription. Go to butcherbox.com/Burr. Enter Burr at checkout. Go now. It's a limited time offer. Good Lord, everybody. Is there anything more American than a package of free bacon in every box, whatever subscription you have? All right, let's talk cardio machines, because that's what I've been doing. And this friend of mine was claiming there was a new cardio machine where he's burning way more calories than you do on an elliptical at the same amount of time. And it just dawned on me. I was just like, that's just sort of like the scam with cardio equipment is that once people buy something, they're so fucking expensive. It's like they're not going to, my mother bought a fucking Nordic track in the late 80s. She's still using it. Still works up a sweat and all of that shit, right? She got it for my dad. He never fucking used it, and she uses it, right? So the thing about that game is in order to get people to buy again, you have to somehow come up with some sort of device that is, it's burning more calories in a shorter amount of time. All right? And the thing about that is it just says enter your age, enter your weight, and what else? There's something else. I don't even know what the fuck it is. And then it just says, oh, you burned this many calories. It's like, don't you need more information than that? I don't have a fucking science background, obviously. I'm not a personal trainer, obviously. Hey, right? But isn't like, what the fuck are you doing? I think they just fudged the fucking numbers to drive the market. So I just looked up cardio machine scam. And I found this fucking article. First of all, what was funny was most of them were trying to sell you cardio equipment. And this article that I ended up reading, this guy was breaking down all the ways why those things are, they're not accurate. Because it's basically like if I was to get on a cardio machine in the shape that I'm in, and work out at a certain level, like it's going to be challenging to my body type, right? If someone else of like the exact same, whatever, proportions as me, who on paper we are the same, but they have more like athletic DNA or whatever, and they barely break a sweat, they're going to say that they fucking burn the same thing. Like, everybody's like different. You would need so much more fucking information. And I really just feel like the whole fucking thing is a scam. I'm not saying cardio machines are bad. I'm just saying buy one, and if it still fucking works, don't get suckered into buying something else. This guy wrote a whole article just on elliptical machines, saying it's the most useless thing, and that's the one that I use. And he was saying that they're absolutely fucking useless because at least this Stairmaster is something you can apply in real life, walking upstairs or going up a fucking hill. A rowing machine, for when you take your fuck the love of your life around a lake. I don't know who the fuck rows anymore. If you're escaping Alcatraz, and you made a fucking dinghy out of a fucking pair of pants and some shirts that you tied together. What else? But an elliptical, unless I don't know what, you cross-country ski? I have no fucking idea. I don't even know what the point of any of that was. Oh, the point was my buddy was going, you got to get on this thing. It burns way more calories. And I'm just, being a pessimistic son of a bitch isn't the greatest thing in life, but it does prevent you from going out and falling for shit like that. It's like, how do they know? How the fuck do they know what the fuck you're burning? You just tell them your age and your weight. They don't know how much of that is fat, how much of that is muscle. You don't have to say how tall you are on most of them, right? So you have a little fat fuck and then a tall skinny guy, and they're trying to say that they burn the same calories. The fatty's almost dying, and old Stretch over there, he's barely breaking a sweat. I don't know what to tell you. All right, let's do some of the reads here for the week. How much time have I done here? The only thing I don't like about this new fucking one is difficult to figure that out. All right, 41 minutes in. Okay. Whoopi and Bella Thorne from a lady. All right, so last week I was talking about Whoopi's response to this celebrity who had sent some naked photos to her boyfriend, and they were on the cloud, and some asshole got them, and he tried to blackmail her, and then Whoopi was just like, well, what the fuck are you doing that for? You're famous. And I was like, that's exactly what my mother would have said. Hey, Billy Bald Cunt. This is from a lady. I love when the ladies write in. The thing about what Whoopi said is that I think Thorne realizes she made a mistake. Whoopi just jumping in like, hey, dumbass, that was dumb. I'm older and smart. Oh, I'm older. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. You're throwing a little shade her way. And smarter than you. You shouldn't have been so dumb. Isn't helpful. That's not what she said. That's not what she said. All right, she goes, if I went swimming and lost a foot to a shark, that's a great comparison. I think that, uploading naked photos of yourself that somebody and you look fucking great, by the way. I didn't see him, but I saw Joy Behar was going, if I had a body like that, I'd fucking be plastering around the subway. I love Joy, by the way. I got to work with her on Crashing. She's fucking hilarious. She goes, if I went swimming and lost a foot to a shark and the paramedic just comes up and says, hey, fuckhead, you should have known sharks are in the ocean. I'm not going to check if you're all right. Just need you to know you are an idiot. I fucking realize I made a mistake. You don't need to publicly chastise me. All right, that right there. First of all, what you're saying Whoopi said, she didn't say. And then this comparison is not the same thing. Okay? A paramedic's job is to come up to you if you're bleeding, is to stop the bleeding, to get you to the doctor's, to the hospital while you're still alive. That's his job. Whoopi's job is not to make this person feel better. Okay? And she didn't say, hey, dumbass, that was dumb, I'm older and smarter than you. You shouldn't be so dumb. That's not what she said. Okay? And the thing about you fucking people, about people in general, is, when you fuck up in life, if somebody doesn't hold your feet to the fire, speaking of feet, you're not going to learn anything. If people are just constantly coddling you, all right, you don't learn anything. And then secondly, this is a famous person. Famous people are not people. They are just things that people use to get through 10 minutes of their fucking day on a radio show or a fucking blog that they don't feel like doing that day. So part of being in the public eye is getting trashed. All right? At the fucking pathetic level that I'm at. All right? I stopped reading comments on social media years ago. Because it's literally, it's like 80% negative. That's basically what happens. All right? But what I liked about what Whoopi said was it was old school parenting. All right? Yeah, you fucked up. Just because you fucked up doesn't mean you deserve a hug and somebody cries on your shoulder. I'm not saying that you don't deserve that. Okay? But somebody also needs to, like, you know, if you just like, oh my God, this happened and I'm a victim, and somebody just goes, yeah, that's so terrible. Oh my God. I hope you're okay. Like, what did you learn? If you take a jump shot at the end of the game when there was a guy underneath and you missed the fucking shot and everybody boos you, and then you're in the locker room crying, is the coach not supposed to bring up that there was a guy open underneath that had a way higher percentage of a shot next time you get into that fucking situation? You know? I will say this. What she didn't do in the end was what a great coach would do, is after he gave you shit for fucking up, he would then build, don't worry, you'll get him next time, but blah, 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 blah. All right? I will give you that she didn't do that. But it was refreshing to have somebody like hold somebody fucking responsible for their fucking actions. I mean, it was a little ridiculous that you're just going to fucking, that you're going to do something like that. I don't know. She is younger. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But I mean, listen, I'm not even saying Whoopi was right. All I knew is it made me miss my mom. Well, what'd you do that for, you idiot? She always used to do that. You know, well, that's what you get for climbing a tree. I mean, you got to hang on. All right, Saturday. Dear Billy Linguini-istics. Greetings from Rome. Oh, one of the great trips I ever took. You're constantly emphasizing the Saturday and Saturday with a Boston accent. Is that from something, or is it just how Boston drunks talk when they're Boston level drunk? Love your music choices. Well, that's Andrew. That's not me. Andrew makes the music choices. Say, I'm gonna come over there on say. It's an exaggeration of Saturday. And there's some people who say Saturday. That's what it is. Why don't you come over on Saturday? We'll figure it out. You know, it's like really a harder Boston accent. So me and my buddies living in L.A. and missing the Boston accent exaggerated to the point that it became Saturday. But it's Saturday. My mother-in-law came over this past Saturday, and she was in rare form. That's where it comes from. It just comes from... it comes from, being there and then also watching Steve Sweeney making fun of the Boston accent. And when all of us comics from the Boston scene all ended up in L.A. at the same time, that was, it was a fucking culture shock to go from Boston all the way out to L.A. It's just so fucking different. Both great cities, and I love both of them. But we were young, and we just, we didn't know anything. Our whole lives were spent in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, all of these guys that I moved out there with roughly the same time. So the way we dealt with being homesick is we hung out with each other. And as we were starting to lose our Boston accents, like as much as I still have one, it's not even remotely what it used to be. I have a very soft Boston accent, if you can believe that. So someone would be like going, would just say something like that. Would be like, dude, I got to wash my car today, and blah, blah, blah. Wash your what? And they'd be like, car. What? And he'd go, car. That's what we do. So we'd always like when we heard somebody pronounce an R, we would just. I don't know why we would do that. It was fucking stupid, but I remember one of the hardest laughs I ever had when I was out there in L.A. We were doing time in this now defunct, the L.A. Cabaret. I can't remember what the fuck it was called. It was this way out in the valley. This fucking comedy club. It was in this strip mall. I forget what it was called, but we were out there, and Bob Marley was on stage, and he was talking about moving across the country with his wife, and he was telling the story, and like there was like 8 people there, and like 7 of them were comedians. It was ridiculous. It was like nobody there, and he was standing there, and he was going, "Yeah, when we moved across country," and he goes, "We took a fucking," and he jumped up in the air. Jumped up the air and landed in the squat position. He goes, "We took a fucking rider," the rider truck, and it was just so silly and ridiculous, and we were all so frustrated that we weren't getting good stage time, and a lot of us thinking, what the fuck had we done, that we just fell out laughing. And it was funny, like he did that well over 20 years ago, and I never forgot it. And to this day, when I drive down the street and I see, they're not yellow anymore because the fucking idiots in the World Trade, I believe, they switched them to white. Whenever I see one, I always think of that every time. It's just the joke that keeps giving. All right. Dealing with parents. Hey, Bill, love the podcast and your stand-up. Sorry you had a bad experience at the airport last time you were here in India. Hope you come again sometime. I didn't have like a bad. I had a terrifying experience because I didn't think they were going to let me out. Anyways, they put the S there. I'm 18 and recently got accepted in a well-respected engineering college. You see? Exactly. 81? You know what the fuck I'm talking about. In India. But I don't want to follow that career. I want to be a mechanic. That's cool, man. Being a mechanic is fucking cool. I contacted and scored an internship at a huge customs garage in Mumbai. Dude, that's a fucking no-brainer. The problem is my parents. Oh, Jesus. They are forcing me to go to engineering schools as it is safer choice according to them. They want me to take up computer science. My father brings one of his successful friends home every day, and together they try to convince me. My parents are not bad people, and I believe they did a decent job raising me and have always supported me, but this time they just won't listen. How do you think I should talk to them and explain my passion about cars and machines? Also, would like to know your thoughts on Max Verstappen. Thanks. Dude, you got to follow your heart. And sometimes your parents, what I've learned is being a parent the short amount of time that I have is that there's an unbelievable amount of fear. The fear, if this is possible, almost is bigger than the love. It's because you love them so much that this fear that something bad is going to happen to them. So what they're worried about is they know that, you're going to outlive them. Right? So they're worried. They just want to know that you're going to be okay after they're gone. So that's where they're coming from, if that helps you understand it more. And maybe you can come and listen. I know that you guys are worried about my future. And, I get that or whatever. And just like, you want me to be happy, right? This is what's going to make me happy. I absolutely love this. I have a passion for this. I would do this for free. And I know I'm going to be good enough with the great, genes that I have from you guys that I got accepted to engineering school that, like, I can apply this, the brains that you gave me to this thing, and I'll be one of the best guys out there. Just talk yourself up. But I think you might have to go through a couple years of their disappointment until they see the success. And I think that's just something someday that you guys will laugh about. And if they never do find it funny and they never quite get that that's what you like, then they're just going to have to fucking, it's just one of those things that, your parents aren't going to like everything that you're doing. But if you like it, as long as you're not just, I'm not talking about doing heroin, It's just something that they're going to have to fucking accept. That's all. Also, would like to know, so definitely follow your heart. All right? Follow your heart, man, because I think building custom cars and everything is just fucking amazing. Also, what do you want to know your thoughts on Max Verstappen? Thanks. I love the guy. I think, if he wasn't driving for Red Bull, I mean, there's a lot of guys, if they had, where the fuck did Bottas come from? I mean, he was good and everything. All of a sudden he gets a Mercedes and he's like the second best guy out there. It's just like Mercedes throws so much money at their cars. I mean, what do you think Max Verstappen would be doing if he was riding in a fucking Mercedes? I think he would have way more podiums and way more wins. I think he's an incredible driver, and I think he's gonna be, if he can get with a team that has the fucking money. Not like Red Bull is totally poor, but I feel like they're a distant third, but behind Mercedes and Ferrari, even though they're doing better than Ferrari this year, as far as I know. I've been kind of busy, but I think if he was driving a car equivalent of that, same thing as Daniel Ricciardo, I think there's a lot of guys out there that could be, which is a shame, and then you could really see some incredible racing. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know if they need to make the tracks fucking wider or what, but they got to do something where these guys actually have an opportunity to pass each other, because, I watched 17 to 19 laps of that 50-something lap race. And I just kept looking at the distance between Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it got up to close to 6 seconds. It's like, I'm not fucking watching this. I got my kid. I'm going to go take my kid to the park. Forget it. I thought I was going to see a race here. It's just, you can't compete with it. But I think, obviously, if Max Verstappen was driving for like a Mercedes or something like that, I mean, I can't imagine what he's doing. I love him. I think he's great. And he has balls, too. He seems mature beyond his years. He's not intimidated by the press. He's got a little of that Kimi Räikkönen in him, I like him. I'm a huge fan of his. All right, feminist question. Hey, Billy Badass. Love the show. I enjoy hearing you and the lovely Nia on the podcast. Your relationship dynamic is similar to mine. We are also an interracial couple, myself being a black woman. Me and boyfriend have been together for about 5 years and have different approaches to life. My passion and career are one and the same. I'm constantly trying to move up and make more. My boyfriend just works for money. He indulges his passions in his free time, i.e. making music. He doesn't really pay attention to how much he makes. Now that we're talking about getting married, friends and family don't like the fact that I am more ahead in my career and feel he should pull his weight more. Exactly. You see that? All the feminists out there listening to this shit? I'm telling you. There's that fucking thing out there. It's like if a guy isn't bringing home the bacon, he's just an adult teenager. What are we doing here? You can't make a baby. You have an ingredient, but got the easy bake oven there. So what are you doing? You got to make money. My only problem with, and she says, my only problem with that is if the situation was reversed and he was making more than me, no one would care because he's a man. Exactly. Sometimes I wish he made closer to what I make, but it isn't a priority for me in a relationship. What are your thoughts on this? Love the show and go fuck yourself. Well, I don't think there is a problem with it. Inherently, what the problem is when you get pregnant and you have to go on leave, what kind of sort of financial situation that puts you in. Because for some reason, I'm assuming you live in the United States, is we don't give a shit if a woman's pregnant. We're like, all right, well, you just dropped off. Keep the caravan moving. There's some countries, they get upwards of 6 weeks off. They also pay like 90% taxes. That's the part that they don't talk to you about. I agree with everything you're saying. Like, if it was flipped, they wouldn't say anything about you. Sometimes, listen, if you love the guy, fucking marry the guy. If he's going to be a good dad and all of that shit. And, if this is the dynamic, then make sure he doesn't blow all the money he's making on music. Don't squirrel away your money. Save your fucking money so that when you're having kids, it won't be a problem. And then have a number of kids that is conducive to the money that you're making. I think you can work it out, And don't forget to be nice to each other. All right? I know that sounds easy, but, you can just sort of just fucking start taking somebody for granted. You'd be surprised how much a little back rub goes either way, Telling you. All right. The girl guys want to fuck but never want to date because of big boobs. Okay. So where the fuck is this one going? All right. Hey, Bill and Nia, I just turned 29 years old on the 19th, and although I should be feeling great, I've been a little bit down about myself as of recently. I ended a 5-year relationship 3 years ago where I was a lot heavier. I thought my boobs were just bigger because of my weight. I've lost 50 pounds since then, and I look and feel great. However, the boobs never left me. I've been on dates with some guys, but nothing has really come of it. A lot of them just wanted to hook up, and that's not really my style for the first few dates. I try to dress as modestly as I can. I grew up in a strict Catholic household, so I try not to show as much cleave as possible. It's really hard dressing comfortably without looking like a church choir singer and dying of heat stroke. Parentheses, I live in Arizona. My girlfriends and I met up for lunch a few days ago. I'm the only single friend without kids in the group. And you know what? I bet a lot of them envy you on a lot of days. So before you get too down on yourself. There's this one lady in the group who no one ever really likes inviting because she's negative and self-proclaimed blunt. AKA says rude-ass things just to say them. They don't even make sense. Oh, yeah. You got to say, you get blunt. I would have used a different word that rhymes with blunt. Anyway, the subject came up of me seeing someone. I mentioned how it's nothing serious. The girl then goes on this rant about how my boobs make me look like a girl's guys just want to fuck but never want to date. She said that? She's pointed out that they make me look easy and a fun-time girl. She said girls with smaller boobs get taken more seriously because guys get to know her personally. With boobs in her face, they cannot. Yeah, she's jealous of you. Also, they don't want to worry about their friends staring. I brushed it off at first, just thinking she was being a bitch, but the more I think of it, the more it bugged me and kind of made sense. Is this true? No. No, it's not even remotely true. That's a cunt. She's a cunt, all right? And your friends just sat back and just let her say that? I got to be honest with you. This sounds like you're one of those Real Housewife dynamics that I watch my wife watching, where I'm just like, why the fuck would anybody hang out with a person like that? Somebody just said something like that to you. You don't work that out. The fact that she said that and was that fucking rude in public and not thinking about your feelings whatsoever and said it in front of all of your friends, dude, fuck her. And in a lot of ways, fuck your friends.